Okay, so now I'm going to start. So hope you can hear me.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. So today I'm going to start the Selenium WebDriver. Okay, where I will teach you like how we automate the test case, right? So as we discuss, there is one type of testing, that is manual testing, right? Where we are doing manually. Means suppose that if we have one application, JC Penury. If we want to verify here the search functionality is working or any functionality if we want to check, then we need to perform manually, right? So what we will here suppose that search some product, then click on the search button and verify the product is listed or not. Okay, so any product if we are searching, if that is not listed, it means search functionality is not working. Okay, so this is very simple scenario test case. What I am so giving you example. Similar type, this product, this application has multiple test cases. So what is the test cases? How we test them manually? Okay, hope you are aware because we have already discussed in the manual testing part, right? Where we will teach like how we create the test case, write the test case, and how we execute the test case, and if we are getting any defect, how we are reporting. Okay, so now this process we are doing manually. Here the manual things.
Sadiq,
A human.
hey Sadiq.
Hello. Yes.
Can you start from the beginning again? Sorry about that because the voice was lost.
Yeah, I started beginning, so
Okay. Okay.
I
Sure.
just started.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just giving some background. Okay, so this test case manual testing means a human will sit on system, he will check the test case, he will execute the test case manually, and he will observe the expected result is coming or not. Okay, so this is the manual testing. Automation testing, in automation testing we will write some test cases, okay, using some tools, some programming language, and when required to test that functionality we will execute the test case. Okay, so in that case we don't need to check the manually, everything will be checked by the automation test script. So this is the automation. Manual, human, we as a human we will test manually, where we will enter the user details, like for here search. If we want to test manually, we will enter here the product, click on search button and verify. But if we are talking about the automation testing, so in automation testing we will write some test cases first time. Next time when we need, we will just run the test that will automatically check and verify. Okay, so one of the tools that is very popular, and this is the known as the Selenium WebDriver. Selenium. These automation tools we can use to write the test case, automation test case, right? And when required, we will run the test that will automatically check. So Selenium, this is one tools, right? And it has 4 components. Selenium has 4 components. First component is Selenium ID. Okay, what is Selenium ID? Selenium ID is a kind of browser add-on, okay, which we can install on the browsers. It has a capabilities to record the steps and then execute. Okay, second component, it has Selenium RC. Okay, few years back we are using Selenium RC. okay, like 8 to 10 years, but currently it has a latest version known as the Selenium WebDriver. Okay, we are using this is now in not currently exist. Maybe you can find the old libraries that will work in the very old browsers which we are using 5 to 10 years back. Okay, but now Selenium WebDriver, this is the latest version provided by the Selenium developers. Okay, next we have a Selenium grid. Selenium grid. There are 4 components are available. So Selenium ID, this is the kind of browser add-ons. This is now not currently we are using. Okay, no one using because all the features are deprecated of the Selenium RC. Selenium RC, like community, they are not supporting the Selenium RC. So this is not like you can say work in the latest browser. And they have completely removed the Selenium RC and moved to the Selenium WebDriver. So currently Selenium WebDriver is very popular. Okay, initially they launched the Selenium 2, Selenium 3, and currently the version is Selenium 4 versions in market. Selenium grid, this is one kind of component which we can use to run the test script on distributed environment. Distributed environment means multiple machines. This will help only for execution. Okay, so I'm going to give you basic introduction of the Selenium ID, then we will move on the Selenium WebDriver. As I told, Selenium ID is a browser add-on. Okay, you can install this. Like if you want to use the Selenium ID, just search Selenium ID for Chrome. Okay, click on this. You will find the link Selenium ID. This is icon Selenium ID. I have already installed. You can see here. And let me remove and install again. So initially you will see the buttons like add to Chrome. Click on this. Okay, ID is installed here. Once the ID is installed, you will see the icon here. Selenium ID. This one. Let me pin. This is the ID icon. Okay. Any browser add-ons, if we are using, that will available under these sections. Okay. So now click on this ID. It will open one GUI. This is the ID means Selenium ID means integrated development environment where we can develop the automation test script. So initially we can see the options: record a new test in a new project, open an existing project, create new project, and close Selenium ID. Right. So first of all, I want to go with the record a new test in the new project. So click on this. Give the project name. I am giving test project. Then we can pass here the URL. Suppose that if you want to use this URL, test this URL, pass the URL, click on the start recording. Okay, you can see another browser is opened here and recording is started in the backend here in the ID. Okay, so if I perform anything on this browser, that will be automatically captured in the Selenium ID. Like I enter here, then enter the testing, click on the search button. Okay, and then we can verify something here. There is a stop button, click on the stop. Okay, once I click stop button, it is asking the create new test. This is test 1. Click on OK. Test 1 is saved here. We can save this. Okay, save in our system. Anywhere we can save. Okay, and next time if we want to, we can import that. For execution, If you open all the test cases, will here you listed automatically. And now if I want to run, then there is a play button, run the current test. So current test will execute. Now if I click on play button, you will see the execution started. Automatically this will enter the testing and click on search button. Okay, and this is the green, you can see it means all is success. In the bottom we can see the console logs here. This is the execution logs. There are 8 steps, all steps is executed. Okay, so if I go in the here any option, you can see here the bottom there is a command. First option is the command, which commands action we are going to do. Like suppose that if you want to click, there is a click methods, right? Commands. All the methods are available here in drop down. Similar type for the enter, there is a type command. Okay, we can see here if I want to use any other, we can get all the commands are available. Manually we can also add here, and this is the locators target, right, where it will enter the details on the page. So this is the location, and this is known as the locator. If I want to change the target, we can change, it will update. You can see target is changed. We can capture all the test cases, right? What the step we need to perform manually. First time we will capture, we will record this step and save here in the ID. Next time if you want to run, just click on this button, it will run. We don't need to go and test manually. Okay, all the verification points we will add and then we can run. So this is the automation where we don't need to check manually. Everything will do automatically. Okay, so this is clear. What is automation? You understand or not? So automation means where we are writing some test case, and when required, when needed, we will run the test. It will automatically check that features. Initially, we are going to work in automation. Initially, there is some investment. We need some time to create the test script. Okay, but next time, suppose that we have multiple cycles, right? Release cycles. So in the next cycle, if need to execute the test cases, we don't need to execute manually. Just run our test script that will automatically check, and then it will produce the reports. Okay, this is the Selenium ID. So Selenium ID, we don't need to go much details because we are going to learn the Selenium WebDriver, not the Selenium ID. This is just basic introduction of the Selenium ID. If you want, you can explore. It's up to you. Okay, this is just recording and replay back. So I'm going to close this Selenium ID, and then we can move to the Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver, it will provide you some libraries. Okay, it will support multiple browsers where we can run our test script. Okay, there is no recording replay back in the Selenium WebDriver. We need to write the test manually. Okay, means we need to write the code. There is no recording options. Second is it support multiple browser OS. You can create a test script. You can use the Mac system, Windows system, Linux. Okay, it will work. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so it support multiple browsers, multiple OS, okay, multiple programming language. Okay, multiple programming language means we can write the test script, automation test script in Java, in C#, in Python, in Ruby. Okay, in different programming language we can use. Okay, that's why it support multiple programming language. So now here we are going to learn Java. Okay, so we will use the Java with the Selenium WebDriver. Okay, now if I want to work with the Selenium WebDriver with Java, then you need Java JDK. JDK should be installed in our system. Okay, then we need IDE, like we are going to use the Eclipse. So we have already set up Java JDK as well as the Eclipse. Okay, next we need browsers. In which browsers we are going to run, okay, we are going to execute the test case or open the application, and we need at least one browser installed in our system. So mostly we are preferring the Google Chrome. Okay, why we are preferring? Because there is some options where we can use to write the some locators. I will discuss what is the locators. So we can prefer to use the Google Chrome, but yes, it will support all the browsers. We can run the test in any browsers. Like suppose that we need to, our client has need to run the test on the IE browser or maybe Safari browsers. Selenium will work, right? We have written the test cases, same test case we can run on Edge browsers. Same test we can run on FireFox browsers. So it will support multiple browsers, but initially when we are using, then we are to write the test cases, we are going using the Google Chrome. Okay, so now three things we need. All these things we have already. We have set up Java, we have set up the Eclipse ID, we have set up the browsers. Okay, so what we need to do first of all, we need to create a project. There is the options Maven projects. So earlier when we started, right, Java, then we were created the Java project. Okay, now I'm not going to create a Java project. I'm going to create a Maven project. I will tell you why we are going to create Maven project. So select the Maven. Okay, what you need to do? Go to the file, new project, expand the Maven, click on the Maven project. Click on next. Next. Here it will open listed some archetype. Archetype is basically it will provide you template of the project. Like I'm going to select the I am going to use this archetype Maven archetype quick start. Okay, so these are the different kind of template of the Maven project. So if I select this, this will give us this very simple project which we need. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to create a Maven project, and in the here archetype select Maven archetype quick start. Okay, click on next. And then here we need to give the project name like group ID, artifact ID, and then package name. So I am giving here September 2022. Okay, group ID, artifact ID. So when we are going to create a project, a Maven project, then we need to provide the group ID and artifact ID. Okay, I will tell why we need to provide these information. Project is created here, and you can see it will automatically created a structure for us. This is a different structure. When we created Java normal project, Java project, then we have JRE, only SRC. TestNG last time we added manually, but only this structure we are getting. But when we created Maven project, it gives us the main source folder where we can add the Java files. SRC test Java file, here we can also, there are two source folder is created. But in the normal Java project, there is only one source folder is created. And here there is target folders, and then there is a POM.XML files. Okay, in the POM.XML file, we need to mention which JRE we need. Okay, so minimum we need 8, so I am going to update here the Java 1.8. By default, this template giving you option 1.7, so we can include here 1.8. Save this, and then right click, go to the Maven, update the project. So it will automatically update your JRE version. Now we can see the JRE 1.8. Why the Java 1.8 JRE? Because we need Java 1.8 library. This is the minimum version which is supported by Selenium WebDriver, latest one. Okay. So what is different folder structures and why we are getting these folder structures? So when we are creating a Maven project, then we have SRC main Java source folder, SRC test Java folders. So it will provide a structure of the project. Okay. So first of all, let's understand what is the Maven. Maven is a project management tools. Okay. What is this? This is the project management tools. So initially we are going to create. We need all those things set up manually, means create the folder structure manually. But if we are using Maven, it will provide you folder structures. Okay, mostly developers are using, then this will give you more benefits compared to us. Okay, so this will also project management tools, because this will provide a project structure as well as this is the build tool. Okay, build tool means using the Maven we can build, we can compile our source code without using the Eclipse, as well as we can use the Eclipse. But if we don't want to use the Eclipse, it will also help us to build our project. So Maven is a project management tool, build tool. It is also deployment tools. Okay. So developers are using to deploy the applications on the servers. Okay. So this is the benefits. This is the basic things of the Maven. Maven project management tools, because this will give you a project structure. Okay, where we can put our libraries, different files. Okay, it will. This is also build tools, so we can compile the code. It will automatically compile your code. This is deployment. Okay. Here on the bottom, you can see there is a POM.XML file. If I open the POM.XML file, here you will see structure like this. Okay, this is the build section. Leave it is as it is. Okay, on the top, group ID, artifact ID, version numbers. Okay, this information be provided when we are creating Maven project. So what is the group ID? What is the artifact ID? What is the version? Why need this? Okay, let's understand like. So last time we included here the TestNG jar library manually, right? Because these jar files is not available under the JRE. Why? Because the TestNG will be provided by the third company, not a Oracle. Okay, so that's why this is not part of the JRE. This is the additional library. which is provided by other company. Like suppose that we develop some Java project, we created some libraries. So that library is not a GRE library. That is not a Java library that we created, right? So similar type, if some companies developed some projects, they created some libraries, right? So those libraries are not a GRE library. So that's why these libraries are not available under GRE. So if we want to use this library, so TestNG, here the TestNG is a plugin. We can install the Eclipse, okay? And then we can add the library here automatically, that is coming. But if any other jar files, like we created some file library, that is not kind of Eclipse plugin, then how we include that jar file? Okay, like I am taking example here. If I want to use the jar without library, if we want to use the TestNG library, then how we use that? Okay, so we can use using the Maven. Maven will automatically download and maintain these jar files. So how the Maven is maintaining the jar file? Okay, here it has two repositories. How many repositories? Two repositories. One is the remote global and second is the local. Okay, so Maven is maintaining all the jar files, right? All the jar files which are available. Like suppose that we develop some jar file, so if that is public, right? So we can publish under the Maven remote repository, like global repository. So there are a lot of jar files are available under the remote, like global repositories, where we can use fetch, and also it will create a local repository in our system. So where it will create? So we need to go with the user. So if we are using the Maven, right, it will automatically create a .m2 folders under the user. Like in my system, see users, admin. Admin is user of my system. Then there you can see there is .m2 folders. There is a .m2 folders. So under the M2 folder, there will be repository folder. So this is the Maven local repository. Once we create a project in the Eclipse, this folder will automatically created. You don't need to create manually. So there are two repositories. One is the local repositories, second is the global repositories. Okay, global repositories is available on the cloud environment. Okay, and you can search on the net Maven. This is known as central repository. This is the repository URLs. Maven central repository URL. Okay, you can see here date wise. There are published multiple jar files. Okay, and if we want to get any jar files details, we can search here. Like suppose that if you want to TestNG jar files, right? TestNG dependencies. So just search the TestNG dependencies. You will get the Maven mbn repository.com URL. Okay, click on this. It will directly jump to the Maven central repository artifact for the TestNG jar files, right? TestNG dependencies. Here you can see all the jar files which are different versions of the TestNG. You can see here, right? It started July 17, 2010. Okay, all the jar files, when the jar file is published by the TestNG developers in this central repositories, right? Date wise you can see, and the latest jar file is 7.6.1. Okay, click on this directly. You can see here there is a link jar file. If I want to download the jar file directly, we can click, it will download TestNG jar file. Okay, we can include this project, but now here we are going to use the Maven. So we don't need to download this jar file manually and link with the project. How we do that? We need to add the dependency section. So Maven will provide some snippet of code. Like one code here, you can see, select the Maven, click this. Okay, copy this, return back, and there is a dependency section here. Dependencies. In the dependency, just paste this. Yeah, I just paste and control yes, save file. You can see here is a Maven dependencies folders automatically created. Expand this. You will see the TestNG jar files. All the 4 jar files you can see. Required jar file. TestNG jar files available here. Jcommander is available here. Right? These 2 jar files are mandatory required for the TestNG. So both jar file is available. Okay. If I remove this dependency here, you will see that will automatically remove from the reference. Only 2 jar files is available. And this is the for JUnit, because JUnit dependency is added. If I remove this, you will see completely removed. Okay. There's no Maven option. Control Z, save this. You will see Maven dependencies added here. 2 jar files. If I add TestNG, all the jar files of the TestNG added. Okay. So this is the beauty of the Maven. Maven will automatically download the repo jar files. Okay, this jar file means if we are using here the 7.6.1, then it will download this jar file TestNG 7.6.1 from the central repository. Okay, and then it will download and store in our .m2 repositories folders. Here, if I go, you can see, okay, TestNG has org TestNG. So go to the org package folder, org, click on this, then TestNG. There are different jar files are available, but we need TestNG, right? This is the TestNG folders, repository, org, TestNG, TestNG. You can see all the versions is downloaded here. Okay, all the versions of the Selenium TestNG. Sorry, TestNG jar files added. If I go 7.6.1, you will see the jar file here. Okay, this is the TestNG jar files is available. Why we are using this TestNG jar files? Because the library of the TestNG functions are available under this jar files. Otherwise, your compiler don't know what is the @test. Okay. So now TestNG's dependency is added. We can write here some test of the TestNG. Okay, now what is the group ID and artifact ID? So basically in the TestNG jar files, TestNG central repositories, there is a lot of jar files available, right? How the Maven will recognize which jar files need to download? There should be some difference, right? Like if we are talking about the Selenium WebDriver library, TestNG library, some other jar files which are globally available in the Maven repository, then how the TestNG, how the local Maven will download or map from the central repositories, right? So there are these things required: group ID and artifact ID. Okay, these are the IDs helps to download the details from the jar file from the Maven central repositories. Like if I am creating any jar files where we are providing the group ID, org, TestNG, and then TestNG, if we push this in the remote repository, then this will be conflict. Okay, so that's why when we are going to create a group ID or artifact ID, we need to make sure this will be always unique. Always unique. Otherwise, if there is the same group ID and artifact ID, there are 2 jar files are available in the Maven central repository, then how this will recognize, right? So duplicacy will not allowed. So with the help of using group ID and artifact ID, we can make sure our jar file is unique, our library is unique. Okay, that's why most of the companies, they are using the domain names of the company like TestNG.org. Okay, if we are talking about the Selenium, then will be Selenium group ID and artifact ID. So using with the help of these group ID and artifact ID, Maven will recognize the jar files from the central repository. Okay, that's why when we created the project, then it asked group ID and artifact ID. Okay, so why we are using dependencies? Dependencies we are using so that we can maintain the jar files. Okay, with the help of using Maven automatically, we don't need to download and include in our project. Okay, similar type, if we want to use a Selenium dependency, Selenium jar file, then we will just search Selenium Maven dependency. Just search. Okay, this is the URL, mbn repository.com. Click on this. Okay, so you can see the versions of the Selenium. Okay, 2.0, and the latest one 4.5. So click on this, you will see the dependency code here, snippet code. Just click on this editor, it will automatically copy, okay, return back and paste under the dependency section. Under this, anywhere you can paste, not outside of the dependencies. So one dependency is added. Just after the paste here and save. You can see it now. 4.5 is not available at my local system. That's why you can see this is downloading all the required jar file from the internet. This is a one-time activity, right? Once the jar file is downloaded and stored under the local repository, then next time it will not download. Okay, it will automatically link. So org.selenium HQ. So we need to go with the org folder, org. Click on this, then Selenium HQ. Selenium HQ. Selenium. Selenium Java. You can see 4.5 version is not downloading. Date is 10/08. Our previous version 4.4. This is downloaded earlier. So it will download all the required jar file. Not only single jar file, but there are other jar files also, dependent jar file like Selenium IE driver. You can see downloading. Okay, Selenium Safari, Selenium. So there are multiple jar files it will download. All the jar files which needed for Selenium WebDriver, it will download in the local repository if not exist. If it exists, it will not download. It will just link with your project. So let's see. So what is the Maven? Maven is a build project management tools as well as the build tools, which will compile our source code, which will provide you folder structures, and we can run our test from the command line Maven, using the Maven. Okay, so Maven is very useful. Here in the jar files like dependencies, we are maintaining by using the Maven. Okay, and it will automatically maintain. So like suppose that if we want to share this project to you, then in that case, you don't need to download the jar files. These jar file will automatically be taken care by the Maven project. Okay, Maven will download this because we have mentioned in the POM.XML file. It will automatically download and save in the local repository. And then from the local repository, it will available for your project. Okay, now if you have any questions, why we are using Maven, what is the use? Okay, any question, let me know. So in short, main purpose of the Maven, we need to maintain the dependencies in our project.
No? I got a question.
Sorry?
Yeah, we download Selenium for Google Chrome. But for the WebDriver, we just went to Eclipse and create a Maven project. Is right?
Yeah, create a Maven project, then search the dependency. Like Selenium dependency, search from the internet. You will get this snippet of code, right? Like you can see here. Okay, copy this and go to your project, main project. You will see there is a dependency section. Dependencies section. Paste this snippet code in the dependencies section like this. Okay, and save your project. It will automatically build and download the jar files. So now you can see all the required Selenium jar file is added here. So there are some dependent jar files also which included automatically. Okay, so all jar file. Now we don't need to take care or download these jar file manually. Otherwise, we need to put some effort here. Then we download jar files. Then we can run our project and we can create the test script. Right now, it will automatically taken care by the Maven. We don't need to worry on this. Just include this statement, this snippet of code. Okay, so you can see when the Selenium developers they created the Maven project, right? They will given this group ID, org Selenium SQ Selenium, artifact ID Selenium Java, and the version number they given. Okay. So now we included the Selenium jar file. We included the TestNG jar files. Okay, dependencies. Now your project is ready to create some tests for the Selenium. Okay, so let's see how we will create the Selenium test and how it will launch the browser and run the test. So there are one folders package com.test. Right click here, create one test. In any project package you can create. If you want, you can create new package. But mostly the test, because we are going to here write the automation test script. So our automation test should be under the SRC test Java folder, not SRC main Java. So we will put our test always in SRC test Java. Okay. In the dependency section here for the TestNG, you can see there is a mention scope test. Scope test means here, if this is mentioned, it means this jar file is available only for the test folders, SRC test. This will not available for the SRC main. Let's see. I'm going to add here one TestNG test, like Selenium example. Okay, one test. And then here I'm going to include @test. We have already discussed here in the last session. If we are marking the @test for any method, TestNG will consider that as a test. Right? Okay, so if I move these folders in under the main, right? I just move this. Now this file is available under the main. It means if we are going to create in under the main, this is not working. This is giving you or the TestNG annotation. This is not available. Why this is not available? Because we have added the TestNG, but scope is only for the SRC test Java. So we can write the TestNG test. We can add the TestNG test only under the SRC test Java, not the SRC and main Java. If you want to use both, then remove the scope here. Save this. Now scope is removed, so this error is gone. Now we can write the test under the main also. Main means SRC main Java. Okay, let me move here. So mostly we will use the TestNG test, or any test. If we are writing, we will select the folders SRC test Java. Okay, now one template of the TestNG is ready. We can run this test by using the TestNG runner. You can see the result. Okay, now how we will write the test Java Selenium test. Okay, so first step in the Selenium, we need to launch the browser, because when we are using the Selenium WebDriver will automatically launch a browser every time when we run our test. Okay, it will not execute the test on the existing browsers. Existing browser means the browser which is already open. We cannot run the Selenium test. Okay, every time it will open the Selenium test, it will open the browsers. So how we run the browsers? So there is a class ChromeDriver. We have already discussed. We need to create object using the new keyword. So we have here class ChromeDriver driver equal to new ChromeDriver. Okay, this is the one statement, one line of code where we are just creating the object of the ChromeDrivers. So ChromeDriver will take the responsibility to launch the Chrome browsers. Let me run and you will see some error. Okay, now I'm getting here one error. So what is the error? The path of the driver executable set to the here. So Selenium WebDriver will provide one jar files, right? That is known as the driver.exe. This exe we need to pass before going to launch the browsers. Okay, so how we do that? So go internet, search on browser Chrome driver.exe. You will see the first option. Click on this Chromium org. Okay, there are some releases. This is the current release which will support the browser 107. Let me check what is my browser. I'm using 105. This is my current. Okay, let me update. So now this is updating. Okay, relaunch the browser. Okay, now version is 106. So we need to download same version of the driver.exe 106. Click on this. There are different driver.exe driver executable file. For Linux, we need to go with this 64-bit ChromeDriver for the Mac, 64-bit. This is also for Mac. This is Windows. So I'm using Windows, so I will go with this link. So ChromeDriver.exe is downloaded. Okay, this is kind of zip file. So extract this. And this is the location where the download is. So we need to pass this complete location, means our driver.exe, ChromeDriver.exe with our here before launching the browsers. So for that, we need to set up an environment using System.setProperty. We need to pass here key and value. Folder name ChromeDriver.exe. And then key, you can see this is the WebDriver, ChromeDriver. This is the key. So we need to mention where is my ChromeDriver.exe. With the key WebDriver, ChromeDriver. We need to pass here the path. Okay, then terminating this using semicolon. Done. Okay, so now if I run this program, you will see the browser will launch. Yeah, this browser launched. This one. Yeah. Now, if I want to navigate the URL here, okay, we need to call the driver, same object we need to call. Then here we need to call the driver.navigate method. Okay, then call another method. Like suppose that I am going to pass this JSON. Or facebook.com. Okay, let me run. And now you will see it will launch the browser and navigate the facebook.com URL. Yeah, automatically navigated. You can see here. Okay, so there is one option to set up the driver.exe. We can use this, but it has one drawback. Drawback means you can see when I was downloading the exe, then we match the browser version. Okay, we have 106 browser version. That's why we downloaded the ChromeDriver.exe for 106. Okay. Next time when our browser is updated, then we need to update the ChromeDriver.exe again. So there is a manual things needed. This manual things we can remove by using the WebDriver manager. Okay, so there is one more things available that is known as the WebDriver managers. So we can check first WebDriver manager dependency so that we can include the jar files in our projects. This is the latest one, 5.3.0. Copy this, go to POM.XML, paste here. Save this. Okay, dependency is added. And if I go here, this is downloading WebDriver manager because this is first time this version I am going to use in my system. If I go here, you can see the WebDriver manager is added as a jar file. So library is now added with project. Let's see what function we need to call here. So we need to call WebDriver manager dot Chrome dot setup. So WebDriver manager dot Chrome dot setup. This statement we need to
one more time, please. Why you will add the WebDriver manager file?
So like you can see here, when I'm not setting up this driver.exe, right? So we were getting the error. because this is mandatory. If we want to open the Chrome browser, before opening Chrome browser, we need to set up the drive. We need to set up the path of the ChromeDriver.exe. Okay. For that, first of all, we need to download the driver.exe, save in our system. Okay. Then we need to set the property with WebDriver, ChromeDriver.driver. Okay. And pass the location of the driver.exe where we have saved. Okay. Then we can run the Selenium test, means then it will launch the browser. Otherwise, we will get the error. What is the error here? You can see the path of the driver executable, the path to the driver executable must be set by the WebDriver ChromeDriver. Okay, we need to set with this key. Okay, I have just commented the code, right? Double line commented code means this is not working. Uncomment this one. Okay, double slash means comment the code. So what we need to do, we need to set up the ChromeDriver.exe with WebDriver ChromeDriver key. If we are not setting up, then it will not launch the browser, because this is the mandatory. When we are running the Selenium test on the Chrome browser, then it needs the driver.exe. Without the driver.exe, it will not run. Okay, but if we are using this System.setProperty, then this approach, there is a manual thing, right? Manual means we need to download this manually, save in our folders, project, and then we can provide the path here. Okay, second thing, if our browser version is updated, then we need to download the updated version again, save in our folder, then we can run the test. There is a manual dependency, right? So we need to look some approach where we don't need to do manually. So yes, so WebDriver Manager is one option. If we use this WebDriver Manager, then we don't need to download the ChromeDriver.exe manually. It will automatically maintained by the WebDriver Manager. But you need to do what? Include the dependency in POM.XML file. Okay, and then call the WebDriver managers .ChromeDriver.setup before launching your Chrome browsers, before this statement. So in that case, it will automatically maintain your driver.exe. You don't need to worry on this. Even your browser version is updated, right? So it will download latest driver, is updated driver from the internet. Okay, now I'm going to run. You will see this time it will not ask the ChromeDriver.exe. Yeah, launch the browser, navigated the URLs. Clear? Why we are using WebDriver managers? So WebDriver manager will maintain our driver.exe.
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so now you can see here for the automation, we don't need to run the browser manually. It will automatically launch the browser. It will run our test. like enter URL, okay, navigate the URLs, enter the text in the search field, click on button. So all those steps will do automatically. So next step, after the navigation of the URL, okay, we need to click on the sub buttons. Like here I'm going to create a new account. So in that case, what step we need to do? We need to click on the create new account button. Okay. So suppose that if we are going to click manually, right? So in that case, we can see there's a create new account button and just click on this. But how your script will click on this locators, on this button, how the Java code will click, what code we are going to write, how here we can provide some information, right, to click on the sign in button, create account button. Okay, so how the code know where we need to click? How here our code or steps will know we need to click on the create account button. Okay, so manually we can see as a human, anyone can see there is a create new account button and move the mouse cursor and click. Okay, so in the automation, what we need to do, we need to pass some information, some details of the create new account button in our test script. Using that information, it will come and click on this button. Okay, this information, what information we are going to pass in our test script, this information is known as the element locators. Element means this create button. In automation terms, this is known as the element, and what information we are going to pass in our step, that is known as the locator. Okay, locator means which will locate the buttons, which will locate the element. Like if I am talking about the login button, so we need to capture some information, pass those information in our test script, and this information is known as the locators, locator of element. So this login button is known as the element. Okay, so what we have here, two terms. What is the element? Element is the page location, like this is the input box. So this is the one element. This is the second element. This is login is another element. This is forget button is another element. So what information we are going to capture here and pass in the test script, that is known as the locators. So we need to, what we need to create here, if we want to enter the text into input box in the password field, then we need to create the locator of the field, of this field. Okay, if we want to click on the login button, then we need to create locators. If we want to create new account button, click on the create new account button, then we need to create a locator of this button. Okay, now it's clear what we need to do. We need to create locator. But what is the locators and how we create the locators? This you need to learn. Okay, so go to your browsers and then right click. There is an inspect button you can see. Right click on your browsers on the page, which page you want to capture the locators, click on the inspect button. Or you can also click on the buttons, right click if possible. Here right click is not supported, so just clicking here and then click on inspect button. Okay, you can see the source code of the page. Once I click on the inspect button, after right click, if I click on the inspect, it will give you code, source code of the page. Okay, there is a 3-dot button. You can move this source code position from different location. Like this is the left side, right side. Now we can move this in the bottom side. Okay. So if you want to create the locators of any element, then first of all, you need to understand of the internal code. Okay. Internal code means HTML code. Only you need to understand. Don't worry on this. You don't need to create the locators. Create the, sorry, locator not. You don't need to create this code. You need to only understand this, how that is structured. If you understand clearly how this is structured, then you can capture the information from here and pass in our test script. Okay, so look this HTML code. This is HTML code. Okay, so all the code what you are seeing here, developers are using to design the application, or designer, if they are using to design the page of the application, then they will use the HTML code. Along with the HTML, there are some CSS selectors, some JavaScript code is available, but you don't need to go on that. Only you need to understand how HTML code is structured. If you look into the source code, right, on the top, you can see there is the HTML tag. HTML. So all the pages what you are going to see here, this is always coming under the HTML tag. What is the tag name? HTML. HTML is a root tag of page. Okay. This is not case sensitive. You can create it. Put capital letter, all small letter, both will work. HTML tag is not case sensitive. So HTML tags. This is the root. Can you please? Okay. This is the top root tag known as the root tag. All the pages contain details, look and feel what you are seeing, that will come under this HTML tag. So HTML is a root tag. This root tag is divided into two parts. One is the head and second is the body. Okay. One is the head and second is the body. HTML tag. Under the HTML, always there will be only two tags. Two things. One is the head, second is the body. First is the head and second is the body. So under the HTML, there is two tags, head and body. This head tags will contain the information of the metadata along with this title. Here you can see on the top, there is an image, Facebook. This is coming under the head part, and this is the Facebook log in or sign up. This is the page title. So this will also come into the head section. Title. This information is coming. Okay. Facebook log in or sign up. This information you can see here. So only title sometimes we need, otherwise we don't need to capture anything from the head, because these are the internal information which user will not interact with these information, right? So head will contain some metadata as well as the some references, some links, okay, and like this is the script, right? This is the JavaScript code. You can see. So in head parts, there will be also JavaScript code, metadata information, some links, okay, are available. And these are basically not useful for the end user. End user means who is going to use the application. Okay. Second thing, the body. All the contents what you are seeing on the page, that will come under the body section. Where it will come? Under the body section. So all the information what you are seeing here on the page, that will come under the body section. Okay. Here. So HTML is the top root element. It contains two head and body. Head will contain some metadata information along with some links and the title. So only sometimes we need to verify the title is coming or not. What is the title? Because this is the visible for user. So mostly we are from the head part, we are capturing the titles. All the pages contents are coming under this tag, body tag. Okay. So what is the top root tag in HTML? HTML tag, right? HTML tag contains two tags. One is the head, second is the body. Okay. All the content which we are seeing on the page, that will come under the body. Now, HTML tags are two types. One is the empty tag. Contains tag. There are two types of tag are available in HTML. One is the empty tag, second is the container tag. So container tags are basically those tags which contains opening as well as the closing tag. Like if I am talking about the HTML, so you can see the HTML is on the top. This is the opening tag and this is the closing tags. All the tags are coming under this area. HTML, root, this is the opening tag, this is the closing tag. Similar type, if we are talking about the head, there is a head opening and head closed. There is a body open, body is closed. You can see like this. Body is open here, started, and you will see here at the end, there is a slash body. So body is closed. So how many types of tag of HTML? There are two types of tag, opening tag and then closing. Container tags and empty tag. Okay. Now, there are tags and tags contains the attribute. If I am talking about the body, so attributes are coming under the opening tags always. So like this is the body, this is the opening tag. There is some information you can see here present in the key and equal, this is the value. This is the dir and its value is LTR. So this is the class directory dir. This is known as the attribute of body tag. So each tag, this is not mandatory, but yes, tag contains also some attributes and its value. Okay, so this is in tree format. Tree format means this is the some nested one tag within another tag. Like here, HTML contains two tags, head and body. If I am going to body tag, it contains more tags. This is the script. This is the 1 div, 2 div script like this. Okay. If I expand this, you will see and the childs are available. Global container. This is the child of div. This is coming under the div class underscore li. Okay. If I expand this, you will see more label. Right. So tags are coming one by one. And here we can make a parent and child relationship. If I'm talking, what is the child? How many child of HTML tag? So HTML tag has two childs, head and body. If I'm talking about what is the parent of the body, so parent is HTML. So here we can make the relationship parent and child relationship. So if we go with the body, you can see it contains multiple tags. All the tags are child of body. Okay. If I go in the more depth, you can go like this. So element means tag contains the attribute. These attributes are coming under the opening tag of a body, opening tag of HTML opening tag. Like here for the body, we have class and these are the values. This is the dir, this is the attribute, and this is the attribute value. So these attributes and the tags will be helpful to create the locators. So if we want to create the locator of the create buttons, right, then we need to capture some information which will uniquely identify to this button. Otherwise, if we will pass some information which is duplicate, then it is very hard to search the test here locator properly, right? So we need to always create a unique locator, which is only one on the page. So any question here to get understanding of the HTML tags and its relationship? Let me know. Any question here? What is the relationship and what is HTML tags? How they are connected to each other? Clear? This is clear, or anyone have any doubts? Okay. So I'm expecting everyone know, understand. So now I'm moving the how we create locators. So there is an arrow button. Click on this. Move the cursor in your desired element. Like I am going to click create locator the create new account button because I am going to click on this. So first press the arrow. You will see its color is changed. Okay. Now this is selected. Move to the element. Click on this. It will directly jump in the source code, okay, where this element is exists. So this is the source code of the create new account button. It has a tag. You can see here. There is a role attribute. It's button value. There is a class attribute, and this is the value. href attribute, ajax ID. Okay, data ID. Okay, these are the some attributes and its value is available for this element. Okay, so now I'm going to create xpath. Xpath one is one of the strategy to create the locators. Okay, so if I want to create xpath here to identify the create new account button, then xpath we can create like this. First start with double slash, okay, then tag name. So this tag name is a, okay, and then @. So there are a lot of a tag, right? You can see there are 46 tags are available which are related to a. But which one we are expecting? We are expecting the create new account button. Okay. So a, then add the square bracket, and then copy the attribute here. Which attribute you can think that will uniquely identify this locator. So we have here classes role equal to button. So maybe there is other buttons which role is same. This seems dynamic. This attribute we can use ID, maybe this dynamic, but best we can have a data test ID, open registration form button, we can use this. Copy this. Okay. After the anchor tag, add the square bracket, then add the rate because I'm going to use the attribute, and then close the browser. Close the bracket. Now you can see this is automatically highlighted here, and we have 1 of 1 means for this locator there is only one element is available on the page. Okay, copy this, go to Eclipse. Okay. Now here each and every things what we are going to do, we always need a driver object. Without driver object we cannot do anything. Okay, so what the method we need to call here? First call the driver dot find element here, then by dot. We are using here xpath for the locator, so we call the by dot xpath and then pass this xpath here. This find element
One
is a
second.
return type.
Sorry, sir. Can you explain one more time how to find the xpath?
Yeah, I will explain. Don't worry, I will explain multiple times because I need to capture for each and every element, right? So then we first we need to call the driver.find element. Okay, this is a find element. This is the one method which will return the WebElement object. Okay, what is the return type? Method we have already discussed, right? Method return a value. So this method find element will return the WebElement object. So we can create a WebElement object and store it. Okay, then we can call here the element dot click. Okay, now done. Let me run. You can see this is automatically clicked, right? Who clicked this? Selenium WebDriver. How this is clicked? Because we have added the steps in our test. Okay, so how we are creating the element locators? First, go to your page. Okay, right click on inspect button. You will see the source code at the bottom. If you are not seeing the bottom, you can change from here. Which location you like, you can move. Like this is left side. If I want to move the down, this is down. If I want to separate this from the different page, we can do also this from different window. But I always prefer to use this at the bottom. Okay, so there is an arrow button. Click on this arrow button. You will see this is selected and highlighted. Move the cursor for which element you want to capture the xpath. Click on this. Then look what is the HTML tag name. So this tag name is A. So start with double slash and A, and then also you can copy the some attribute, because if I use only the slash A, there are 146 elements which has anchor tag A, but we are looking some specific one, right? We are looking at create new account button. So we can copy the attribute here, because the attribute is which is coming under the opening tag in the key value format. That is attribute. So here, if you want to use the attribute for additional information, so that uniquely it will open identify. So square bracket, @ paste your value, data test ID, and after that because this is attribute, and then this is the value, like this. Okay, same locator I pasted here. The value you can put in the double quotes as well as the single quote, both will work in xpath. Working. Okay, it's clear. Okay, let's take 5-minute break. Okay, and then we will continue. Okay, so do you have any question? Okay, so what we are using here, if we want to search the locator on the page, okay, then we need to call the driver.find element function. Driver.find element, this is the method, okay, and in this method we need to pass the parameters. This is the argument by locator. Like in the method we explained, when I explained, we can pass some arguments, some parameters, right? So in this case, we need to pass the by dot locators. If we are using xpath, then we need to call here by dot xpath and pass the locator what we created. This driver.find element will return the method WebElement object. So we can store in the WebElement object. Like if method is returning the integer or string data type, we need to use same data type to store the value. Similar type, here we are getting the WebElement object. We can store this in a WebElement variable. So element.click, this method is calling. Okay, next. Once the click is done, here we need to enter the text like first name, last name, surname, mobile number, password, right? We need to enter the text. So first of all, we need to capture the locator of the first name input box. So what you need to do, you need to click on the pointer here. Then once this pointer is selected, move the mouse on the element, first element. Okay, this is the input tag. What is the tag name? Input tag. It started with greater than, this is the input tag. It has some attribute type, class, data type, name. So you can see the name, first name. It seems this is the unique things, because if we are mentioning the first name, they are mentioning the first name. So this is the first name field. So we can capture this name attribute. Okay, this will help to uniquely identify. So copy this, go to here, slash, double slash, input tag. Okay, you can see there are one of 33 input tags are available, 33 inputs, but we need first name one, not the other. So use the attribute like @name equal to first name. So now you can see one of one. One of means using this locator, we can get the first name field only. Copy this, go to the here, call the driver.find element by dot xpath and paste the xpath. Here we can use a single quote as well as the double quotes. Both will work in xpath. Then call the send keys method. This will also again return the WebElement object. We can store in the WebElement object like variable. This time I am going to create variable name input field equal to this. So this WebElement object I am going to store in input fields. Then using input field object, we can call the method send keys. If we want to enter the text into the input field, we need to use the send keys. If we want to click, then we need to call the click method. If we want to clear the input field, then we need to call .clear methods. Okay. In the clear method, we don't need to pass any argument. In the click, we don't need to pass any argument. But yes, in the send keys, we need to one argument. And this is already defined in the methods. If I mouse over here in the send keys method, you can see there is a options character sequence. It means we can pass here the string. Like I'm passing here test. name. So this is the code of the first element. It will get the locator, WebElement object of the first element, clear the input box, then it will send the
Sir,
text.
please, sir, can you explain again the send keys method why you will use?
Yeah, send keys method we are using if we want to enter some text in the field. Like in the first name, we need to type some text, right? Like I'm typing here testing. I am typing here first name, right? Like this is Sadiq, this is Rajesh, anything if you want to. So we are giving here some inputs, right? You are pressing the keyboards, you are entering the text here, right? Clear? We need to enter the text, right? So this text we need to pass from our test script. What text we are going to hear? So in the test script, what method we will use? We will use the send keys method. So send keys method will send the text what we are passing here into the input field. Okay, how it will send the text in input field? Because we have captured the element locators here. Okay, and then calling the driver.find element by the xpath, passing the locator, it will return the WebElement object. So what is the object? Which fields? This will return the input field object, this field object. Okay, and then by using this object, we can clear field. We can also send keys. Send keys means enter the text. So if we want to enter the text into any field, then always we will use the send keys method. Running the list. So now you can see here we are getting error. So what is the error? So no such element, unable to locate the element list. So if your element is not correct, or maybe there is some delay, okay. So if driver will not found the element, what element we are passing, what locator we are passing, if that is not found on the page, then we will get such type of error. No such element exception. Okay, no such element exception we are getting. Now coming back to the test. Why we are getting? So you can observe here, when I run the test, then input the pop-up, right? Sign up pop-up will appear before, after it raised the error. Okay. So why this is coming? Because when it click on the create new account button, so it will take few milliseconds, right, to appear the page. Click here. It takes few milliseconds to appear on the page. Meantime, our test is started checking locators, but this element is not appeared because page will open after few milliseconds, right? So that's why here test is getting failed, because when the element is searching the here test, at that time that is was not appeared and we are getting exception. So for this, what we can do, we can use one thing here, thread.sleep. So like I'm putting here 2 seconds. 2000 millisecond means this is 2000 millisecond. Let me add 3. This is 3 millisecond. So when it click here, it will wait 3 seconds. Your execution will pass 3 seconds. After that, it will check the locators. At that time, maybe this will have available given. So I just added here the 3 seconds delay to perform next step. Yeah, you can see this is working. And if I open here, you will see test name is typed. Okay. This wait basically we are not using. This is the hardcode wait, because if I pass here the 3 seconds or 10 seconds, your program will halt up to 10 seconds. Okay. So this is not preferable. I will told you what we will use, but as of now we can put here thread.sleep. Okay, now next, if we want to enter the surname, so first of all, we will capture the locator of the surname. Move to the pointer here. This is the last name. So copy this last name attribute value. This is the input. Same thing, but only the value is changed. Okay. Tag name is input. This is the name attribute, and value is last name. Only this is changed. So what we need to do? We need to store in the WebElement last name field equal to driver.find element by dot xpath like this. Okay. Last name field, then we will call the here. If you want to clear the input, suppose that some text is already present, we need to clear. Then we can call the clear method, otherwise not. So we can call here the send keys last name. Okay, let me run. Enter the first name as well as the last name. Any question?
Confused, sir.
What is the confusion? What is the confusion?
I mean, the last name you copied. After that, what you did?
You call it the send keys method.
Okay, thank you.
Why I am calling the send keys method?
To add the input field, the name.
Yeah. To enter the text, not that input field. I'm not adding the input field. Input field is already available, right, on the page.
Yeah, sorry.
We need to enter the text here. So for that, we need to call the send keys method. Okay, it's clear for everyone.
Please, can you explain the last name WebElement last element field? That one more time,
Which
please.
one? Which one? This one.
Yeah, this one.
Okay, this last name field is just a variable, right? This you can give any name. So what we are doing here, we are just calling the driver.find element and passing the locator in the form of by.xpath. Every time, each time for any element, if you want to get the WebElement object, you want to do anything, then you need to call the driver.find element. Driver.find element basically will look the element on the page. What element you are passing, it will search this element on the page. If this is available, this address is available. Here in automation term, we are calling the locator. If this locator is available, then it will return the locator object as a WebElement object. Okay. Then using the WebElement object, what object we are using, what variable we are using. Here you can give anything, right? You can give x because this is a variable. We have already discussed variable, we can define anything with your name, with any logical name, right? So as of now, I'm giving the last name in field. Then using the WebElement object, we can call the method. What action we are going to do, accordingly, we need to call the methods. So in this last input field, this is the input field, we want to enter the text. That's why we use here the send keys method. And then in the send keys method, we will pass some value, which value we want to enter into the field, input field.
I have one question, please.
Okay.
When you inspect the HTML code open, right? Go to please
Yes.
that page and explain me the last name. Thank you.
You can ask the question, don't worry, right? I'm here to explain each and everything until you will get. Okay, so just right click here on the page, anywhere you can right click. Like I'm going to right click here, new, in the input field, click on inspect. So directly you will see this is open the code, and if you want to, we can move the bottom because I am preferring to use the bottom. Okay, so now arrow button, move the element here, last name, click on this, and this is open. Okay, what is your question here?
Last name, what you will do now? You copied this one, right?
Yeah, we need to check the locator. We need to create the locator. Okay, for that, what we need to do, first of all, we need to here press Control F. If I press the Control F, you will see one input box here at the bottom. Okay, now look, this element, input field. If I mouse over here, input field, you can see this is a highlighted last name field. This field, right? This one. Input field, this one. If I move here, this is the input field. Okay, now you need to here check the locators or create the locators. First of all, you will look the tag name. What is the tag name? What is the HTML tag name here? Highlighted one. What is the tag name?
Input.
Input. Input is the tag name, right? So you will use here / input. So input is sufficient to identify the last name or not. If I use only the / input, this is sufficient to identify the last name or not?
No, because there are 33
No.
inputs.
There are 33. Then what you will do, you will look some attribute here. Which attribute you are thinking that will uniquely identify this input field, surname input field. Okay, so if I use here type equal to text, so let's see, @ type equal to single quote txt. This will identify uniquely? No, there are 7, right? 7 elements, but so this will not uniquely identify. Let's try class input field, class input text. So we can use the attribute @ class, and then what is the value? Input text. And there are some more values also. This is the complete value. Use this. Still there are 7, right? So it means class will not help. Next is the name. So if you see the name, this is the last name. So it seems this attribute is unique. If I will use here the name attribute and pass the value last name. You can see 1 of 1. And if I mouse over, this will highlight to the surname field. So it means if I will use the input along with the name attribute and its value, we will get the uniquely. It will identify, this locator will identify uniquely. Other attribute you can also use here, the placeholder, okay, area label equal to surname. You can also use this attribute. Clear? This is clear or not?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Why we are using the clear method? Clear method we are using. This is not mandatory, right? So if we want to clear the field value, we can use that. This is not mandatory. Like suppose that here I enter the text. Okay. If I run, you will see. Here it enter the first name as well as the last name, right? But now I want to show clear. So let's see here, if I will use the last name dot clear. So this method will clear the input fields. Means it will remove the value if any value exists in the input field. Let me run. Yeah, you can see enter the first name, going to last name, and then last name is clear. So clear method just clear your input fields. It will not do anything. Just clean the input field if already value is available. So what is the use of clear method? Clear method will clean the value of the input field. Sometimes suppose that if we are enter some values, right, that values is stored in the browsers and that is exist in the input field. So, but we want to clear the input field. Manually you can do, right? But in automation, how you will do? In automation, we will call the clear method. Next, this is the mobile number. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to capture the mobile number input field again. So you can see here, just select this arrow, go to the mobile number input field. Okay, select this. So this is the input tag. So Control F, you will see the editor. Input tag first you will use, then look the attribute which will uniquely identify. Okay, so there is a email name equal to reg email. So it seems this will help, this will uniquely identify this element. Otherwise, we can also use the area label equal to this complete value, mobile number or email address. Okay, let's see. At the rate area label, at the rate why? Because this is attribute of input tag. Then the value of the tag we can use one of them. Okay. So we can use here driver.find element by .xpath. If we don't want to perform the multiple steps, we can directly call the send keys method here also. Instead of storing the object, right? That is unnecessary increasing the code, we can pass here. And then pass the double quote. Okay. into the value. Okay, so now next, this is the normal. If you will see any input field anywhere, what function you will use?
Send keys.
Send the keys. After the driver.find element, you will get the WebElement object. Using that, you can use the send keys. If we want to perform the click operation, what if we will use?
Click.
Click method. Okay, so first of all, we will create the locator of the element where we want to click. Okay, then we will call the driver.find element method, pass the locators or xpath, and then use the send keys method or click method accordingly. Here we want to click, we will call the click method. Okay, next is the drop down values. Like here we have drop down values. We want to select. This is not normal click. This is a select field. Okay, if you want to click, if you want to select any value, okay, then first step, create the locators. Look the HTML tag. If this is the select, right, not using any other options, you have select attribute, then select tag, then create the locator of this select. So like here select and at the area label tag, we can use this attribute area label. We can use the name attribute because this is the birthday. ID we can use, title we can use, here any attribute you can use except the class. So that will work. So let me create select at the rate. Area equal to day. Okay, locator is created. What attribute I am using? Area label equal to day. Change this with single quotes. Go to the code. Now here. First of all, we will call the driver dot find element by dot xpath as the locator. It will return the WebElement object. We can store here the WebElement object. The element okay, then if you want to select the value, drop down value, we need to call here select class and then select variable. Create the object of the select and then pass the WebElement object. This element we need the element okay. So for the drop down selection, we need to use the select class. Select dot. So we have here three methods. If we want to select the drop down value, we have select by index. Okay, we can pass here the index number on which index we want to select. Like suppose that I am passing here 3. Okay, so let me run. So it will select the third value from the top to bottom. It will go from top and then click on the third element. So you can see 4 is selected. Why the 4 is selected? Because it will start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So I passed the 3. So if I go here, you will see the index. There is a description. Select the option at the given index. This is done by examining the index attribute of the element and not merely by counting. So we passed the S3, but we selected the 4. Why? Because the index will start from 0. So first 0 index is the first value, 1 index is second value, third index is second index is third value, like this. Okay. So if we don't know which element we need to select for the testing point of view, then just use the index number. If you want to select by value, so we have select by value. Let me comment this. Select by value. We need to pass the value. Okay. If I go here in the option, because the select has multiple options, 1, 2, 3, these options are coming here. Okay. There are some value attribute in options. There are some value attribute 1, 2 like this. Okay. If I will pass here the value equal to 3, then it will select third number. Let me pass here the 4. It will select the value. So how many ways we can select the drop-down value? Select drop-down by value. Select drop-down by index. And then we have third one, select value by visible text. Visible text. Okay. Visible text means the text what you are seeing on the drop down. This is the known as the visible text. Visible text is coming under the both tags, opening tag, options of opening tag as well as the closing tag. Here 2 values present, so it will select the 2. Let me run. I just pass here the 10, so it will select the value by 10. Ten is selected. Okay. So how we select the value? We can select the drop-down value by using select class. Let's move on the other example. Here Jan, February we have. So your value is different. You can see visible text is different. So if I want to create the locators, select the here value. We have area label equal to month. We can change here. So this is highlighted to the. We can create locator of the select by month. Then call the driver.find element by that xpath. Okay, so this is the element month. So first of all, we need to create the select class object. If we want to use the, we want to select the drop-down value, then call the select, pass the WebElement object. Here the WebElement object is element month. I pass. And then select one dot. Select by three method we have: select by index, select by value, select by visible text. So let me give here visible text. So what is the visible text? The text which we are seeing in the drop down, this is known as the visible text. Okay. If I go in the HTML code, you will see these visible texts are coming between the tags. Yeah. You can see here Jan is selected. Okay, if you want to select by index, so just pass the index number, like I'm passing here 3. So it will select third index value.
March, right? So
Yes. Index will start from 0, right? So this is April, not March. So 0 means 0 index, first value, first index, second value, Jan, Feb, March, April. Okay, so index will start from 0. If I will pass the 0, then it will select the Jan. Okay, if you will pass the 1, then it will select the next February. If I will pass the 2, then it will select the March. If I will pass the 3, it will select the April. Okay, then next we can select also this by using select by value. So what is the value? How you know what value we have? If I see here in this drop down field, what is the value? You can see this is select. There is an options attribute for this select element. Okay, this is the options, and here in options there is attribute value. So what value we will pass, that value will select. Like if I am passing here the 6, then it will select the February. Sorry, June. June is selected, right? So now we learned here normal 3 functions. Okay, like if we want to click on any element, we will use the element object, then click button. Okay, if we want to enter the text into the any fields, then we will use the send keys method. Okay, if we want to use the select dropdown value, then we will use the select class object. Using the select class object, we can select the value by using 3 ways: select by index, select by value, and select by visible text. Okay, clear? This is clear or not? Okay. Now I'm not going to some other functions, like more functions. So this is very basic things you need to create at your end. Okay. Create a Maven project, create some tests like this, where you can navigate the URLs and then perform some click and send keys method. Okay, code is shared here. And now, if I want to, currently you can see I am running the test on the Chrome browser. But if we want to run on the Firefox or any other browsers like Edge browsers, how we do that? Okay, so in that case, just replace this with Firefox Driver. Let me give the same name so that we can use here, not need to change the down remaining steps. Firefox Driver, imported the class equal to new Firefox Driver. Now I just changed this ChromeDriver to Firefox Driver. Let's see what will happen. Yeah. You can see I am getting error here. What is error? The path of the driver executable must be set to the WebDriver Gecko Driver. Okay, so we need to download first Gecko Driver, then we can set up the path like we did for the Chrome. System.setProperty. This is the key, and we need to pass here the value. So first of all, we need to download this Gecko Driver. So go to the internet, search. Okay, click on the link. You will see here the release notes, and this is the assets where we can see the browsers executable. So I'm going to use the Gecko Driver latest 64 version. Click on this. Open. And then here expect. So this is the path. We need to provide the path here, then slash. Okay, now driver, WebDriver, Gecko Driver.exe path is set up here. Now if I run the code, it will not throw the exception. Yeah, browser is launched. Firefox browser is launched. Enter username and password, all those things. Working. Similar type, if you don't want to make this manually, then we can manage this by using the WebDriver manager. So call the WebDriver manager dot. Now this is Firefox, so I will use the call the Firefox method. Then set up. Okay. Instead of Chrome, we will also call the WebDriver manager Firefox driver, and this will maintain the required jar file automatically in the system, as well as the driver.exe. No need to maintain this driver.exe manually. Let me run. Okay, so you can ask any question, anything if you have. Okay, so and we will continue the next topics tomorrow. But if you have any question, any query, you can ask. So who is not able to understand the today's concept?
Hey, Sadik.
Yes.
One of the students' request is that they want record. Yeah, many of the students are requesting that they want recording by Saturday night our time, so that they can go through the recording before they come to the next class tomorrow.
Yeah, actually, there is one thing, right? It will take some time to publish. So you have access, right?
I think, yes.
Yeah, so you can download and share, because when I will wake up, right? It will be
Yeah,
morning,
that is the problem.
in the evening.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
But I will share the like at morning. My morning means that is evening,
Mhm.
Saturday evening. But yes, you if you want, because this is the publish on the cloud environment
Okay, okay.
in the Zoom, so you can download if you have time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions anyone have? Okay. So then today we can wrap up the session, because if I go more concept, more topics, then it will more confusion. So what I'm expecting you can practice at your end. You can create a Maven project. At least you can create some test where you can launch the browsers and navigate the URLs and perform some steps like click or send keys, right? And if you will face any questions, any issue, let's discuss tomorrow. Okay. Thanks everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sadik.